Now, Nigerians were supposed to be heading to the polls today to choose a new president. But in a shock move, the election was postponed just a few hours before voting was scheduled to start, and polling stations remain shut. It was expected to be a tight race between President Muhammadu Buhari and the main opposition candidate, businessman and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission made the announcement.
Following a careful review of the implementation of its logistics and operational plan, and the determination to conduct free, fair and credible elections, the Commission came to the conclusion that proceeding with the election as scheduled is no longer feasible.
Now, our correspondent Adrian Krisch is live for us in Lagos. Adrian, we didn't hear many details there about exactly why the elections are being postponed. What more do we know about that?
Right, indeed, quite a sketchy explanation. The Commission did not go into any details. They just cited logistical and operational reasons. But what we know is that in the last days and weeks, several offices of the Electoral Commissions were set ablaze in various parts of the country. And apparently lots of voter ID cards were burnt, but also card readers, which are necessary for the operation of the election. So this might be one of the reasons why they decided to postpone it.
Why did the announcement come so late? I mean, it was in the middle of the night, just before polls were supposed to open.
That's indeed a big shock. Nigeria has seen it before that elections were postponed. The past two elections were postponed, but not that spontaneous, just 5 hours before the elections. And I just went out in Lagos a little bit to talk to people, and most of them are really angry and frustrated. They just woke up ready to vote, and then they got the news that they'll not be able to vote. And you have to know that people really have to reschedule their days here for election days, because movement of vehicles is not allowed on election days in Nigeria. So everybody really had plans to go out to vote, and now they learned that this was not going to be possible. You can still see behind me, there's rarely any movement on the streets. It's not a normal day yet, and now people know that next week the same thing will happen again, so they will have to make their time available next week.
So people are feeling angry. What about the opposition? Has there been any reaction from the opposition yet?
Well, actually, both the opposition party, the PDP of Atiku Abubakar, and the governing party, APC of Muhammadu Buhari, condemned that the elections were postponed. They criticized the Electoral Commission for it, and they blamed each other basically for trying to fake some things in the elections. They didn't go into details. It's just the good old blame game that we've also been seeing in the campaigning time without any evidence whatsoever.
Now, what happens next, Adrian? Are there any guarantees that the election will actually take place next weekend?
Well, no guarantees, but I think it's very likely that they will happen. INEC is the Electoral Commission is under fire right now. Many people are angry, and also the whole world is watching. There's a lot of journalists in the country, a lot of election observers, and I do believe that they will really have to make sure that the elections will happen next Saturday.
All right. Adrian Krisch reporting for us from Lagos. Thanks so much.